So let's put our hands together for Miss Susan Payne, CEO and co-founder of Sustainable Planet. Susan will be presenting a session titled Craving Planet Protein on Sand, where she'll share valuable insights on this innovative topic in the next 5 minutes. I want to see that happen. So over to you.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about, this is actually seamless and fits in very well with the last panel, about solutions, about where capital should go and the kind of innovations that are happening now to use very little water and growing food on sand. We are growing water lentils on salt flats and sandy soils. And the company is called Sustainable Planet. We address 3 critical global issues: food security, climate adaptation and mitigation, and regenerative agriculture. I don't have the clicker, I'm afraid. Okay, so the idea has taken hold, it's taken root, and it's given us a platform to actually talk about this plant, I call it a superhero, actually. It's a protein hero, because it is so highly sustainable and it addresses all 17 SDGs. In the last 12 months, we've won a series of awards. The UN, thank you very much. Hang on. But a couple of the major ones being top 5 agri-tech in Africa, winner of the African Startup of the Year award, and the UN World Food Forum prize last year. Okay, so the problem that we have, we all know this, we've discussed this ad nauseum over the last 2 days, but increasing desertification, how do we grow sufficient food using as least resources as possible? And this addresses that particular issue. So we can grow it on salt, we can grow it on sand, we can grow it on any land that is non-arable. And how does that solve the problem? We can repurpose unusable land, and we can give everybody on the planet some level of economic freedom in so doing. Our mission is to grow plant protein wherever we can. So the more, the better. There's not just one soya farmer, we want to have masses of water lentil farmers. The differential for us is that we own the IP to transform it into an isolate that is a soya like-for-like replacement. Right now, we're growing into we've actually been allocated 6,000 hectares, up to 6,000 hectares in Mozambique, and we are growing into this land now. We can roll it out at a slow pace, depending on funding. We grow it like this on ponds, just like this, and there is no chemicals and no fertilizers. We use natural fertilizers only. It's impactful, and it's sustainable, and it's a superfood. It grows 365 days a year in climates that are subtropical, and it doubles in biomass every 24 to 48 hours, depending on the climate. It's scalable, it's very easy to transport, and it gives quality food, nutritious food, and jobs to hundreds, and up to thousands, depending on how we scale this, of subsistence farmers. It reduces CO2 emissions, and it can produce carbon credits, which is an adjunct business to the main business of food production. And finally, other applications are possible, including medicinal, organic fertilizer, cosmetics, and others. In terms of nutrition, it contains not just 45% protein, but all essential amino acids, vitamin C, vitamin K, B12. It's extensive. We can add it to all sorts of different foodstuffs, from protein shakes, protein bars, breads and pastas, and we're dealing with currently different ingredient companies in Europe that are interested in placing this into foodstuffs as a soya direct replacement. Our business model starts with cultivating the plant, extracting the protein, and then creating food products and carbon credits. There's various technologies and patents involved here. I won't go into the details except to say that we have the IP to create the isolate, a colorless, odorless powder that is a soy replacement directly, and also a concentrate that is a gooier green material that can go into capsules to be a superfood capsule to take daily. We have technology for the concentrate and the isolate, and we're also creating protein pellets. Smallholder farmers are our preferred outgrowers. We can pay above average wages. We're doing this in Mozambique. We can offer complete nutrition, crop diversification. We can educate more people about how to eat well, and it addresses all 17 SDGs, as I said. So how does it compare to soya? And this is interesting. I was at a soya dinner last night here, actually, which was really interesting at a different hotel. First of all, the land use is completely different. Of course, there's no deforestation. The water use is different. We use 15 times less water, and the water can be saline water, it can be brackish water, it can be any water that is not potable. The scale is quite different. We can produce 10 to 15 times more protein per hectare. Soya, 4 tons per hectare per annum. Water lentils between 40 and 90 tons, depending on the climate, per hectare per annum. The nutritional value is not just about protein. The social impact is enormous. There's no carbon footprint, there's no chemicals used, and we can price match soya so long as we produce at scale in an environment like Africa, like Indonesia, like India, where we can produce at a low cost. Our management team is extensive. We have a lot of advisors. This is just a portion of this that I can show you here. But all of us on the top level have different backgrounds. My background is in emerging markets. I was in investment banking at Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan for many years, and then ran a hedge fund and have focused on food security for the last 15 years, primarily in Africa because of all the attributes that Africa can offer. It's investment ready. We're rolling it out. It's a franchise model. We're rolling it out in Africa now. We're in talks to start this in Asia also, and the returns on this are very high. Why? Because the model is low. And it's very interesting for me to be here to talk about a lot of the technology involved. This is agri-tech at a different level. To listen to the scientists and different alternatives with heavy capex, that is fantastic for certain economies. For us, this model works because it's a safe, secure model. We can produce it at a very low cost base. We don't buy the land. We virtually use no water. We have no chemicals. Our cost of labor is low. Even if we pay 3 times the wages of my Mozambican subsistence farming community, it is still a low-cost effort. So the demand for this is massive. It's expected to rise by 500% over the next 5 years. The returns are extremely high. We cannot even begin to meet the demand for protein. Absolutely not a chance. I field calls from all over the world on a regular basis where I cannot touch the demand that we are seeing. Our only limitation, and this is that the gentleman mentioned this in the last panel, our limitation is we've got a fantastic innovation and we are not getting sufficient capital to grow quickly enough. So it's expansion capital that we require, and we simply don't see enough money. Despite the rhetoric, we do not see enough money being put into innovations like this for entrepreneurs like me. I don't see that. And I come across a lot of interesting innovations, not just this, but many others that would hit the mark on how to address increasing food supply. I do not see enough funding going into this sector. The challenge is an opportunity. Is it a challenge or is it an opportunity? You know, Africa, is it too early to be there? Or is it generational because it's resource rich and it has a fantastic array of demographic that is really attractive for anybody that's opening a business? Greenfields, it's a greenfield. We are repurposing basically defunct land. Is that a risk? Of course it's a risk. But is it simple? Yeah, it's very simple. It's a very, very simple model, which is why I like this so much. We create protein without footprints. It's a game changer. It's a revolutionary approach to creating massive protein on sand or anywhere. And we hope that this is not the last time that you hear of our effort. Thank you very much for your time.